What's up, guys? What's up, everyone? This is Night Rider NYC, and we are in the Bronx, Jerome Avenue. Yep, Jerome is infamous for like those street repairs, like car repair shops, tinted windows spots, muffler spots. That's pretty much where you come for that kind of stuff if you're in the Bronx. There's other areas, but it's the more commonly known area for that. So it's a nice day out today. Very sunny. A lot of rain coming this coming week, so trying to enjoy the good weather and the ride that is available. But yeah, this is where we're at, Jerome Avenue. A little bit of a grimy area. Has a lot of character though. But yeah, definitely grimy and very Bronx. So what I want to talk about today, last time I talked a little bit about, my journey as a, dad, filmmaker, photographer, motorcycle enthusiast. The channel is pretty much about that, all those ideas. More motorcycle driven. However, I'm really wanting to merge all these things in one cohesive channel. I do have a filmmaking channel. Haven't done much with it because I have ideas that I want to put together first. Then I can be more persistent with that and consistent. So what I want to talk about now is a follow-up to that in a way, and kind of go into how I got into each of those aspects, like fatherhood, filmmaking, photography, motorcycle riding, and motor vlogging. So I guess the place I think I should start with is my filmmaking journey and how that came about. That started, I guess, when I was really young, right? When I was like 5, I remember seeing The Wizard of Oz and other shows from the late 70s and 80s. I grew up in that era, the Gen X era. So I always loved watching movies that time when VHSs were popular, like those early days. And then the movie that really got me loving movies was Back to the Future. I watched that movie so many times. I just love the idea of how time travel worked and the characters and the plot. And I really enjoyed watching it. So I didn't know that there were like jobs for people that could do those things. I knew acting, but I didn't know there were jobs for like production. Like I didn't know how none of it was made. So I just got started, and I started watching movies, more and more movies, and started recording movies from video stores. Like I would have 2 VHS recorder, like one recording, one playing, and I would just capture whatever I rented and then have my own copy and then watch it 1,000 times. I would watch it 1,000 times and really enjoyed the process of watching movies. So I watched so many, like I have an idea of how stories were being made. So when I went to high school, it was Stewart Park High School, Lower Manhattan, and when I first got there, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I kind of just got thrown into that high school, and I said, okay. And I remember going to the library, and my library teacher saying, hey, we have auditions. So I said, okay, let me try acting. And I did acting for a while I was in high school. After high school, I was kind of a techie also. So after high school, I decided to want to go to like a local community college, and they had like a television film program. I was already pretty savvy. I was already kind of homegrown video recorder, camcorder. Like my dad bought me a camcorder. This is like early 90s, and I would do like vlogs, kind of like how I'm doing right now, to an empty audience. Like I was just talking to the camera and just talking about what I'm doing and what projects I'm working on at that time. Again, I had no audience. I was just talking out of my ass. And I have these tapes at home, which is funny. I showed them to my kid, and he starts laughing. He's like, wow, you were vlogging before vlogging was even a thing? I'm like, yeah, because he had like a copy of it somewhere. So then that led me to want to go to film school, and I went to City College. And then I started, I started doing a bunch of small projects on my own. Then I went to City College, and then I started learning the craft of filmmaking and how that works, and writing and cinematography and storytelling and suspense. And I was introduced to Hitchcock, being one of the most prolific directors of all time. Everyone was pretty much inspired from Hitchcock and his work. So I was very inspired. So I made, The Matrix came out around that time. I made this werewolf movie, which was really cool. At that time, it was fun, and I was a little bit ahead of my time, I feel. I co-produced it with a friend of mine, and it was just a fun and exciting time. Went to festivals, and it was just a fun time. I think I won something, I don't know. But then I stopped doing that and decided to become a dad again. And that became my focus for several years. Fast forward 2006, I started shooting weddings, and weddings was just a way for me to make a living. And I really enjoyed the process of doing that because I was already technically sound. I already knew how to edit. I would use Final Cut Pro and all these things that were available to me at the time. I was very PC savvy, and I knew how to use all this equipment. Wasn't too savvy on cinematography though. That came later. So then I don't know, I had this idea of wanting to make a zombie movie, and what inspired that was 9/11 and kind of like the chaos that happened on that day. I used to see a lot of the footage that people recorded when the buildings went down, and gave me an idea of this is going back 2005, 2006, of making a movie. What the hell is going on? It's a big ass truck. Whoa, he's gonna hit this guy right here. You better back up, bro. Anyway, so I decided to write this film about two EMT workers who got stuck in the middle of a zombie apocalypse, and they have to go home to rescue one of their daughters. And they were kind of locked in this apartment, and then it was a 5-year project. So we did that. The following year we did like a spin-off to that one, almost like a sequel but not quite. And then we did a third one. So the whole thing took about 4 years to make, and at the end we had one cohesive project, one cohesive film that was about 2 hours long. And that was my first real attempt at getting back into film production, at least indie film. And I just kept making movies back to back, short films, just kind of fine-tuning my craft. And weddings was a big part of that as well. That's where I kind of learned how to light properly and how to connect like microphones and get good sound. I got a lot of practice from shooting weddings, and it's a great way to start too. If you want to get into filmmaking, start shooting weddings, because you start learning really quick how things work. I wouldn't say it's like a Hollywood production or anything, because the lighting setups are totally different. You have more this guy's creeping up behind me. You have more involved when it comes to Hollywood production, obviously more people. So, but this was pretty big too. I mean, for the time, I mean, the budget was super low, and the second part to that Zombie Chronicles, that's what it's called, was about a female police officer who had marital problems, and they got separated, and she had to kind of survive the night along with, well, he you know, and the husband had to survive also with the kid that they had together, and they had to find each other, and that was kind of like the goal. And she was stuck in a police precinct, and this guy's running around New York City trying to find his wife. I don't know, I shot it back in 2010, and the lead actress was Katie McGuire, which was the lead female actress for that movie, and was also in the Terrifier films. And she played the news anchor who was talking to the mutilated victim in the beginning of the movie. And so that was kind of cool. And then I got involved with her, and we did a few projects together, and she connected me with Damien Leone, who was the creator for Terrifier. And at the time, Damien he had this idea of this clown who runs around killing innocent victims, and mostly females, really. And I don't know if you guys have ever seen a Terrifier, but you should. It's really scary and different. So by the time I met Damien, he had already done a few shorts pertaining to the Terrifier character, Art the Clown, and I kind of got in right after that. And then he was talking about wanting to make this Terrifier movie into a feature film, so he was looking for funding. So he wanted to put together a trailer to kind of pitch it. So that's what we did, and I shot the trailer for him, and he got funding, and we started production on All Hallows Eve, which was the movie, like really the first movie for Damien Leone, first feature film. And it was basically a compilation film of all his shorts pertaining to Art the Clown and that whole universe. And I was cinematographer for part of that film. There were like 4 total. I was one of them. So then we shot that, and you know, it did very well. It was straight to video, and then they made an actual it was All Hallows Eve, and then Terrifier, and then Terrifier 2, Terrifier 3, and now there's a Terrifier 4 being released soon. Now, I haven't spoken to Damien since 2000, Damien Leone, director for Terrifier, since 2013. So it's been a while. So I tried reaching out to him. I haven't gotten a response back, but it was nice being a part of the project. It was really cool, and very talented director, creator, artist. So really happy and grateful to have worked with him on that project. So I took a little bit of a hiatus after that, and decided to have another child, and then kind of put my filmmaking on pause for a couple of years, and then got back into it. And I made this story Grandmama, and Grandmama is a sequel to Red Riding Hood, kind of like a fan-made sequel. The original story was written by author Gary Razor. He did several vampire novels, and I produced a short film for him in the early 2010s. And now we did this movie, Grandmama. So we did that. Just finished an alien invasion movie, short. It's going to be in festivals soon. And Zombie Chronicles was re-released because, you know, it was never meant to be a full feature film. However, it was cohesive enough that I can stitch them together and make it into a feature. So now I'm promoting it as a feature film to festivals alongside Grandmama and the Alien Invasion movie. So my next project is going to be this film. It's like a slasher film, a revenge story. Kind of an homage to the old 1970s Last House on the Left type film. I Spit on Your Grave. So I want to make it something like that, along those lines. Then following that, I'm going to make this movie called Oh Black Hat, written also by Gary Razor, who wrote Grandmama. And that's a sequel to Frosty the Snowman, and that's going to be shot in the winter because I need snow, and we're in New York right now. In New York right now, it's all sunny. We can't shoot it right now unless I find fake snow or if I change the story around, but then it wouldn't make sense. And then I'm gonna start, hopefully, maybe working on a feature film for a film I did in the past, Making Friends. It was a short film which I co-directed with Katie McGuire and produced with Greg Bartlett. So yeah, so that's a few upcoming projects in the coming year, and that's when I'm active in those projects, that's when I'll start putting, when I'm done with those projects, as I'm working on them, that's when I'll start working on some YouTube content for that channel. And I'll be doing moto vlogs throughout the week. You know, every Tuesday, Wednesday, I'll post an episode. And I'll be doing some really cool stuff for the filmmaking channel. I think it's Marvin Suarez Studios at YouTube. So check that out as well. I'll put the link in the description below. So yeah, so that's pretty much what we're doing. And yeah, man, just wanted to touch base and kind of fill you in a little bit about my history with filmmaking. There's a lot more to it, but that's kind of like a snapshot of where I've been filmmaking wise. So man, thanks guys for checking this episode out. It means a lot. I'm really trying to make this thing grow. It's really my passion, and I really enjoy expressing myself, perhaps even educating people on how filmmaking works and photography and anything that I'm really good at, and anything I can share with you guys. I will do some breakdowns also on my filmmaking process and how I go about creating a project from beginning to end. From pre-production, production, post-production, and distribution, and my thought process in how I make these movies. So at some point I'll get into that. But for now, this is what it is. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Like, subscribe, and see you on the next one.